And hello for another episode of Beyond the Forecast. I can't remember.
Oh, here we go again.
I think we're on 26, because last week I think we figured we were 25.
I think we're 27, because I thought Cap was 25.
I thought we were... Okay, well, regardless of what we're on, we're closing in on 30,
Cool.
if you can believe it. Last week, Kevin, we talked about El Nino and kind of what it does for the patterns over the lower 48, kind of what we can expect here, past El Nino events, things like that. This week, we'll do a little bit of a recap on that, in case you missed last week's episode. And then we're going to talk about the implications that it has for tropical weather, both in the Pacific and in the Atlantic.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Atlantic Basin impacts us more often than the Pacific. But sometimes, like what we're seeing now, we could see a system cross over from the Pacific into the Gulf. So, doesn't happen very often, but it has happened. First off, though, what have you been up to? Anything fun?
Well, been working. You know, it's now we record this on my Friday, so sometimes you catch me off guard with that question because I have to think back. Because sometimes I'm just like not really doing much in the afternoon, like taking it a little easy. But I'm trying to think back to the weekend. I mean, I've had some stretches of good weather.
There was some severe weather Saturday.
Yeah, I was here at night for a little bit, just making sure things didn't go crazy. A couple places it did.
Yep.
You know, not everybody got a storm, but a good amount of folks had their power cut out, or some trees to pick up, branches to pick up. So, and you know, more of that in the forecast for the next few days. So the weather kept me here Saturday. Sunday was, I can't even remember anymore.
I know, I don't even remember Sunday. I mean, I was very upset on Sunday. I was at a bowling tournament this weekend down in Kingston. My brother came into town.
Yeah.
It was fun Saturday. And then we had issues on Sunday with the lane conditions and things. So
Too much oil?
On one lane. Like, they were both playing completely different. And that's not very typical.
Yeah.
Sometimes they change a little bit, but they were completely different. And no matter what you did on the one lane, you couldn't get it to work. Like, it was miserable. So
I tell you, anytime I bowl under 100, it's got to be the oil.
It's
definitely not me.
We were very frustrated because, you know, we have brackets. We put money into brackets because we did well on Saturday. So we're like, okay, like the shot's going to be the same. And, after our first game on Sunday, we're like, well, we just lost all our money because we just didn't bowl well. So
I'll tell you what. I know you're probably not paying attention to this super much, but you know, ABC this year has Stanley Cup Final and has the NBA Finals, and both. I mean, we're recording this before Game 4.
Those aren't the same thing.
So the Knicks, the Knicks are either up 3-1 or tied 2-2. Hopefully they took Game 4 at the Garden. But either way, we can speak from the first 3 games. They're all nail biters. The Knicks really, really came back in Game 1. Close game back and forth. Game 2. Game 3 kind of let slip, but still so close. The Stanley Cup Final, which I think had the lowest expectations in a long time, because it's hockey.
Okay.
So it's the Vegas Golden Knights, who a lot of people don't like, and it's the Carolina Hurricanes, who a lot of people don't like. So, and also like kind of like untraditional like hockey markets. You know, you don't think of Vegas as hockey, Carolina as hockey. Carolina's got a good fan base with like how successful they've been, and they've become a hockey town, but. Anyways, I feel like there was just such low expectations, and every single game through Game 4 has just been a classic. I mean, Game 3 in particular, so I was trying to sleep because I had to work the morning shift, and I wake up because I think I went to bed and Vegas was beating the Hurricanes 4-0 after 2, and I wake up at I don't remember what time, maybe after midnight, and I look and I'm like, double overtime. It was on. It was in double. I say they scored 4 goals in the third period. That's like unheard of. So and that's just one example. All 4 games have been so great. There's been a few more overtimes in there. So really just it has been such a good series. And again, all that action on ABC. So hopefully the last few games of the series are just as good as the first several. So. Anyways.
And we'll be back with more sports right after this.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Just, I was thinking about the question, like, what have you been doing? I mean, honestly.
You've been paying attention to that,
every single night there's one of those classic games. So, anyways.
Okay. Well, Kevin's been talking about sports.
Yeah, we are
now
5 minutes in.
Now we're going to talk about the weather. So, obviously, we'll do a recap of what the developing El Nino means for the lower 48, impact on tropical activity, and we'll show you a just updated forecast from CSU.
Yeah.
So just came in as of recording this today, June 10th. So you may have seen other forecasts. Those were issued in April.
Yeah, you may have seen me present the Colorado State forecast on Tuesday on News 10 ABC in the morning, and it has now been tweaked. It's been changed. We'll discuss why.
Here's the current sea surface temperatures. I mean, obviously, you could see, it is very warm through the equatorial Pacific. I think usually this kind of El Nino will eventually shift. Is it going to be based closer to the continent? Is it going to be in the middle of the ocean? Is it going to be more western Pacific? And right now, it just kind of looks, it's just hot all over. But when you look at the anomalies, it does look based to the east towards the continent.
Yeah,
and I didn't pixel query some of them, those dark browns there. As I'm touching this screen and doing something, I didn't realize this was
closer to 5.
Those have to be closer to about 5 degrees above average. And this is in Celsius.
That was my question.
So, we're seeing this emerging pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And a lot of the models are picking up on that. Some of them are putting this way through the roof. I don't know if you've seen some of the models for it. But some of them don't take into account everything. And, you can't base a forecast on one model. How many models do we look at for a forecast on a daily basis? So...
yeah.
Exactly.
A lot.
Exactly. So typically for the lower 48, we talked about this last week, a general ridge in the west, more trophiness in the northeast, I should say.
Yep.
Would be transient warm spells, which we're seeing one right now.
It's hot.
It's very hot. And maybe a little bit stormier as well, because you get those intrusions of slightly cooler air, but you're also cooler in the south because you're wetter.
That's right.
I'm like, are you...
I don't know. Sorry.
I didn't know if you were doing any input on that one.
No, I mean, I figured you were just crash course in this. So.
Basically, yes. Yeah. And then obviously the precip, there's what it is. Typically drier, northern tier of the country, Great Lakes and Northeast. Typically wetter with that strong moisture feed, that subtropical jet that just goes right into the southern U.S. This does have implications in the wintertime. Very strong flow from the subtropical jet. A lot of moisture, but also a lot of warmth for the lower 48. So, but you never know what it means here. It could always mean something different.
Sounds like some cutters.
Yes.
I mean...
I just have us on camera because I can't remember what the next graphic is and I don't want to get ahead of ourselves. So we are at about 9 minutes. So I think what I'm going to do, Kevin, I think we're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
Because when we come back, I want to go through what we expect for tropical activity with El Nino, which is what we're going into, La Nina, and neutral conditions. And I also want to take a look back at those 3 years we looked at last week to show what the tropical seasons pretty much had those years as well. So we'll take a quick break. Next segment is going to be long, but very detailed. So hopefully you'll stick around. And welcome back to Beyond the Forecast. Kevin got a quick little nap in between the break. Good thing you're awake again. Yeah, you got your coffee.
100% chance of me telling you the forecast.
Which he's trying to do right now, but I keep talking over him.
One thing's for sure every weekend morning. You're getting a 100% chance of the forecast. Anyways.
I do want to talk about this. I think we said maybe you would talk about these and then I would talk about the years past. So if you want to go ahead and take this away, I'm going to go full so that people at home can see what we're talking about here.
So El Nino, we're really paying attention here to wind shear as well as kind of the moisture and the warmer water, higher moisture content. There we go. I couldn't really say it at first. And so you'll find that that's off like the northwest coast of South America. And trade winds are weaker, and so kind of the warmer water able to dominate. And what it means up towards the north of that, but still on the Pacific side of things, is that there's less wind shear. And on the east side, especially like the Caribbean. I always mix it up. More wind shear.
Yep.
And as you can see, the graphic says more hurricane activity for the less wind shear and less hurricane activity for the more wind shear. Well, perhaps you're asking, all right, Appleby, what is wind shear? That's a valid question. Wind shear, especially vertical wind shear in this particular case, is the changing of wind speed / direction, but more the direction of the winds. It changes very quickly as you go up in the atmosphere.
Could be speed in this case, though,
Yes.
too.
And the thing is, hurricanes, tropical systems, they don't like it at all. They get torn apart. You will see a behemoth of a hurricane enter a high shear environment, and it just gets torn apart. So honestly, the water can be really warm, and it is, but if there's high wind shear, the storms are still going to struggle.
They just get shredded.
So
they like to be vertically stacked on top in all levels of the atmosphere. Tornadoes want that shear.
Now, with that being said, just because you have overall more wind shear doesn't mean you're not going to have a week here and there where there's very little wind shear. And that's when you still get your tropical development, and it will happen. I mean, we're not going to have zero storms.
We're not saying that this is going to be a not active season at all.
Storms might struggle to get going. They might come in bunches when the shear's low. So
there might be a 2-week period where it's like it seems like there's one after the next after the next. Now, this is La Nina, Kevin, so this is a little bit different. This is what we just came out of. We had La Nina for a couple of years. So pretty much what you just said and reverse it. Stronger trade winds in the Pacific, cooler water temperatures, lower moisture content, less wind shear in the Atlantic, more wind shear in the Eastern Pacific. So that's why we've had some very active hurricane seasons over the last couple of years in the Atlantic.
I mean, I don't want to just make this claim, but I remember like in one of these years at least that we were in La Nina, that we were like almost at the end of the alphabet, and I think the Pacific was on like their D storm.
Well, I know a couple years ago we went into the Greek alphabet.
Oh my goodness, we went so far
into
it.
So now we don't do the Greek alphabet. There is a secondary list of names that they put together.
Yeah, it was very confusing for even me.
Yes.
But I think it was 2020.
I think you're right.
Well,
no, maybe not. It might have been 21 or 2.
I mean, I just remember Isaias was early August 2020. In 2020. Because it's the same list, more or less, that we're going to be showing in a moment. Isaias was not retired, I think to the shock of some people. I mean, it was never a behemoth of a storm.
I thought it was going to be retired, actually.
It definitely caused some damage, even though it was a Cat 1. It was a quick-moving storm.
2020 was the most active on record.
2020,
in terms of number of systems.
2020 was just,
27 tropical storms.
That's unreal. And they don't use all 26 letters of the normal alphabet, as we'll show you. So
Iota, whatever that one was. That was the Greek.
Oh, yeah.
That was the strongest storm that year.
Sure.
155-mile-per-hour winds.
Yeesh.
And Isaias, I will never forget that one because nobody could remember how to pronounce it.
Probably you're going to have to say it at some point.
I know. Everybody wanted to say it was Isaiah, and it's like, no, it's not. It's
I want to say it was Lara. I don't think it was pronounced Laura.
I think it's Lara.
Like Lara or something.
Or Lara.
Lara. But Laura, that storm rightfully was retired because that devastated coastal Louisiana near Lake Charles, and it has been replaced for this year. We'll talk more about that soon. Sorry about that.
Nope, you're good. Now, if we have neutral conditions, which does happen,
sure.
This is kind of what you see, Kevin. Near normal activity. It doesn't really lean towards above or below activity.
No correlation
in either of the basins. Normal trade winds near or slightly below normal water temperatures. So, it doesn't look like... neutral is what you expect. I mean, there's no one way or the other that's stronger, so...
It makes sense because, above average, below average,
exactly.
How do you get the average?
Yeah, that's when you get the neutral conditions. All right, so this is something where I thought was a little interesting. So these are the years that we looked at last week. 1997, 1982, and 1877, which was a little tough to do because... only storms that impacted populated areas or encountered ships were counted for this.
I was going to say 1877.
Yes. Data collection was a little different.
I mean, I'm just going to say this. I mean, there's been some storms named in the past decade that, they don't last more than a cycle of the
They're like
advisories.
12 hours, and then they're
and they're little fish storms.
and they never would have been named.
You wouldn't pick that up without satellites.
Exactly.
So.
Unless a
buoy.
ship drove rode through it.
So
I'm going to take this up full because, all 3 of these years featured below average tropical activity.
So we've got the Atlantic season highlighted here. Then you'll talk about Pacific.
Yes.
All right.
I do have. So I didn't picture this one. I didn't put this one on here. 2015 was another strong El Nino year.
Sure.
We saw below average activity, only 11 named storms, 4 hurricanes, and 2 major hurricanes. I also have, for 1997, I do want to mention this too. There were no named storms in August.
Oh, that's so bizarre.
It was the first time since 1961, and it didn't happen again until 2022.
Weird.
So if you want to talk a little bit about this graphic, Kevin, because
Sure.
then I'll talk about the Pacific each year you're talking.
So 1997 in the Atlantic, no surprise, below average with 7 named storms, 3 of which were hurricanes. Yep. One of those was a major hurricane. And pretty cool nugget of information, Rob. I mean, August, I don't know if you have the graphic in our show that's like peak season,
I don't have that in here, unfortunately.
Basically like late July through early October is like peak hurricane season, especially in August and September.
Yep.
So to go all of August, like the prime season, the prime
I remember
month,
2022. It seemed very odd. It was eerily quiet.
Yeah, it was. We were just like waiting and nothing happened.
Yep.
So that is major. And then
now with that, that being said, 1997 in the Pacific.
Yep.
They saw 19 named storms, very active. Hurricane Linda became the most intense East Pacific hurricane in recorded history. A record it maintained until it was surpassed by Hurricane Patricia in 2015. So again, another El Nino year, 2015, strong storms in the Pacific, not a whole lot going on in the Atlantic. Now, I do think...
I tell you what, I'm not really a long-range guy, like forecasting. Like, obviously, there's model discrepancies that go so crazy, like 5 days out. But... There's a pretty clear distinction between the El Nino, La Nina, and what it does to the tropical activity. And that's not perfect, but it's strong.
Just for reference for Pacific, because obviously we pay more attention to Atlantic because obviously we get impacted by the Atlantic storms. The average named storms in the Pacific, usually about 15 a year, 8 hurricanes and 4 major hurricanes. So for them to have 19, it was an active. It wasn't overly active, but it was active.
Right.
So go on to, you were going to talk about 1982, I think?
Sure, yeah. And then that one was, considered well below average.
Yep.
We have 2 hurricanes, which I can read here. That was a record low in terms of the satellite era. So when you have the actual things in space where you could see the oceans better, not just ships potentially driving into them. And that was tied with 2013. 1 major hurricane, that's it.
And I don't even know if there was much damage. Like, I didn't do that much digging as far as, what were the impacts to land?
You did enough digging.
But that was that. Now, 1982 became, at the time, the most active Pacific season.
Wow. With
23 named storms, 12 hurricanes, 5 major hurricanes. And 2015, of course, became the second most active hurricane season on record behind 1992 for the Western Pacific with 26 named storms. 16 hurricanes, record tied with 1990, 1992, and 2014, and 11 major hurricanes. That was a record high. I think that might have been 11 major hurricanes was in 2015.
Okay.
I believe.
Sense. Yeah, well,
there's a lot of dates that I threw in here. I'm really sorry for that. But so talk about 1877, and then I just want to, before we get into the outlook for the Atlantic, I do have the outlook for the Pacific here as well, just so we've got that.
So 1877, at least the ones they found. 8 named storms, 3 hurricanes, 1 major, and as you mentioned here, it's pretty much if they happen to interact with people.
Exactly.
There's storms that interact with just fish.
And there were
there
were times I think in the early 1900s they weren't naming them. I remember like the Labor Day storm. There's I think Labor Day hurricane or whatever they called it. So I told you the averages for the Pacific. They are, of course, expecting an above average year this year. 15 to 22 named storms.
Jeez.
9 to 14 hurricanes. Now, mind you, as of this recording, we've already had 3 storms.
Hey, Christina's the new one,
There was
right?
Boris. Christina's going to be pretty much fizzling out soon. And what's left of that will be entering the Gulf. They're watching. Could be some redevelopment in the Gulf, so we'll have to keep our eye on that. But they're also forecasting 5 to 9 major hurricanes. That's pretty significant,
It's a lot
I
out
think.
there.
I mean, I don't know, because, again, I don't pay total close attention to the Pacific. But, yeah. Here's the Atlantic forecasts. So notice the Colorado State. The first one on top came out in April. They were already forecasting a below average season.
Yeah, they're kind of doubling down.
Yes.
With the strength of the El Nino.
They kind of dropped the number of storms overall, dropped the hurricanes by one, and kind of kept their major hurricanes. Now, an average year, this is 1991 to 2020, 14 named storms, 7 hurricanes, and 3 major hurricanes. I mean, you could see here the NOAA forecast is near, I'm going to just say it, near to slightly below average, 8 to 14. I mean, 14 is their average, you know. So NOAA, I think, always does
A range.
I don't think they ever really do.
Deterministic, like, 11.
Exactly.
5,
Which
2.
I think it's better off doing a range anyways, you know. It gives people a little bit of a better idea of what to expect. 3 to 6 hurricanes and 1 to 3 major hurricanes. Now, I did not add, I should have, the list of names.
Oh.
Do you remember the names?
I think it starts with Arthur. I'm just going to look it up.
I'm going to look it up right here. That's why.
I just know for a fact that given our luck, we will get Isaias to be a storm that impacts the capital region.
The
again.
eye storms always seem to be the ones that last the longest. It seemed like for whatever reason there was Ian. Ian was a bad one, I think, a couple years
Fort
ago.
Myers, I believe. Yep. I was
right,
just
let's
on
see.
vacation in Fort Myers, and you could see some of the places have like marks on their walls for how high the water got during Ian, and some of it's like on the almost to the ceiling. It's incredible.
All right, so we've got Arthur, Bertha. I love that one. I don't know why.
Bertha.
Cristobal. So it's I hate these pronunciations are Cristobal. That's how it's.
Might have been
It'll be Cristobal. That's what we're gonna say. I think.
D,
Dolly.
and then we got Edward. I looked this up.
Edward.
Edward.
Faye. That's an easy one. Gonzalo. Yep. Hannah. Isaias. Josephine. Kyle.
Wow.
Leah. Marco. Nana. Omar. Paulette. Renee. I was like, how do you pronounce that one? the pronunciation that they had. Yeah. Sally. Teddy. Vicky. And Wilfred. So I don't know where you get their secondary list. They do have a secondary list somewhere, but I don't know where you get that for each year. These recycle.
Yes, 6 years.
It's every 6 years?
Yeah, 2020 was the last time we had these names.
So we will
Isaias.
see these names again unless they are particularly devastating or costly. Then
Yep.
that's when they typically try to retire those names, and they'll make up another name.
Which is why I know it wasn't the most destructive storm, like it wasn't on the scale of some of our huge storms over the years, but Isaias did a lot of damage as it raced up the East Coast. I was a little surprised that they didn't. But they just wanted us to say it again.
The most recent retired name was Melissa.
Oh, yeah.
That was from last year.
Cat 5, and where did it hit? Wasn't
I'm trying to think.
Was it,
That was just the most recent. Melissa. Okay, I'm in the 50s. I'm in the 60s. They have a whole list of all the retired names. All right, 2025, Melissa Cat 5, Greater Antilles in the Bahamas.
okay.
8.83 billion in damage. So Isaias was 20. Oh, it's not going to be on this list because it's not retired. I was wondering if there was a Rob or a Robert that was retired. I haven't seen Robert in a while.
I think Kevin is a name they use in the Pacific. And I'm like,
Okay.
Hurricane Kevin.
Well, then they've got Ida. Remember Ida? That was 2021. That was another one that was a That was Cuba, U.S., Gulf Coast, and Northeast United States. That was, again, another I name.
That was a storm that I've never seen so many tropical tornadoes. That storm produced so many strong tornadoes.
Yes.
Like, I think there was an EF2
Up here,
or 3
right?
in
the Northeast.
Yeah, I definitely know southern New Jersey and eastern PA got hit hard by tornado. I mean, I remember calling some friends of mine there at school. They were like laughing at me. I'm like, you think I just call you out of the blue for, I mean,
this is interesting. So the most retired names are the I name.
I'm not surprised.
13 of them have been retired.
And I could think of at least 2 off the top of my head, Irene and Ida, that I lived through.
10 F names have been retired. And then it goes to C, and then D and M. Those are kind of the top.
Interesting.
It is interesting. 2 Greek alphabet letters, too. Eta and Iota. Or Ada?
Yeah, probably
ATA?
Ada. Gosh, I miss like calculus class or the science classes, writing all those. I never could draw some of them correctly. I think one of them I just gave up and did the cursive letter L in my notes. Yeah, like capital L.
Sorry, I'm just looking at some of these other names. 2024, Helene.
Oh, yeah.
2024, Beryl. Mm-hmm. Obviously, 2025, Melissa. Sandy. 2012.
Yeah, that one never happening again.
Let's see. Laura, 2020. Katrina, obviously. Gustav in 2008.
I'm guessing like Andrew.
Dorian was 2019.
Oh my gosh, that was like my first week of college.
Well, Andrew, yes, but the most recent was Allison in 2001. So poor Allison will never have
another one. That's before she was born.
All right, guys. With that, we are going to call it a week. I don't know what we're talking about next week. We've been so focused on El Nino and stuff. So we'll try to. Hey, maybe we'll take you behind the scenes. We'll pull back the curtain on graphic making or something. I don't know.
Sometimes the ideas really brew on Monday.
They do. They do. And then that's when it's like, okay, this was just a 2-parter, so we knew what we were doing. But anyways, hopefully you guys have a great weekend. Stay cool. Stay dry. And we'll see you guys back here on Beyond the Forecast next week.